Hey everyone, so today, again, we are going to be having a Reforged battle. This is going to be another big battle. It's going to be a 4v4. There's going to be Lothlorien, Woodland Realm, Dwarves, Khand, Arnor, Isengard, and Orcs of Gundabad or Orcs of the Misty Mountains. So this is going to be a pretty nice battle because I watched a bit of it. It looked pretty cool. So now thank you to Son of the Dunedain for sending it in to me. He's commanding Lothlorien. Of course, Lothlorien is my favorite faction, so I'm glad to see them in here. So let's start off with the army comps. So he has 2 units of Elder Council. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 6 Sylvan Silver Spears and 2 Sylvan Axemen. I think Axemen would have been a better choice to bring because they can do more damage and their AP. So he has 2 Sylvan Heavy Spearmen and like 2 units, I believe, of Sylvan Staff Masters. 1 or 2. And up here he has some Sylvan Heavy Archers. 1 Sentinel of the Woodland Realm and some Sindar Archers. 2 Sylvan Heavy Archers and a unit of Ballista. And then for his Cav, he has, let's go over here. For his Cav, he has 2 units of Galadriel Mounted Company. They don't have hit points, they're fast, and they can do a lot of damage. So, there's going to be some pretty nice Cav charges. So, the second army is the Dwarves commanded by Safi. He has, let's see, he has, is that his army? Okay, just making sure. He has a unit of Ironfoot Wargoats, a unit of Ironfoot Hammer Guard, and some Airborne Infantry, Ironfoot Guard, Hammers of Gundabad, Guards of Khazad-dûm, and Mithril Guard, which we have been seeing a lot. He has some Ironfoot Crossbowmen and some Sons of Durin. He also has Ironfoot Spears to probably hold the line because they probably won't be able to get many kills. They're going to get some, just not that many. And then he has some Ironfoot Warriors in the back. So I think he's trying to get to his ally over here. Or he's just trying to defend this hill. I assure you there's not going to be any camping, so that's good. So the next Dwarven army is commanded by Bobo 16K. So for in his front lines he has some Ironfoot Warriors backed up with some Ironfoot Pikemen to give them some extra mass and do more damage. So that's a pretty good combo. And then defending over here he has some Ironfoot Pikemen just in case anyone tries to get past here. Okay. And then back here he has some Sons of the Fallen, some Dragon Slayers, and some Mithril Guard. And he has two units of Merchants, I believe, and 2 units of Ironfoot Wargoats. And then he has Ironfoot Crossbowmen in the back lines. Probably 3 units of those. And that's it for his army. Now on to Khand. Khand has a unit of Variag Cataphracts, a unit of Brotherhood of the Lance, and a unit of 2 units of Variag Cataphracts, sorry. And then he also has Nurad Windblades, who are very fast, but their weakness is to arrows. So then for his infantry he has some, I think, 4 units of Nurad Footmen, 2 units of Variag Warriors, who are pretty good actually, and a unit of Brotherhood of the Sword and Brotherhood of the Axe. It's a pretty cool name. And Then again, we see some Nurniag infantry, probably about 3 or 4 units of them. And then just to guard here and make sure no one tries to rush them, and maybe to absorb some cav charges if they try to charge. He has 2 units of Haruzi heavy infantry. So now on to the second team. We'll start off from back here. We have Woodland Realms commanded by Nick, and I forgot to say this is Kond is commanded by Baconfish 302, and then Woodland Realms, he has a unit of Elder Royal Council, a unit of Hiri Bane, 1 light Elven Archer, and a unit of Elder Royal Guard. He has a unit of Sindar Blade Masters, who are weak to arrows, which I think everyone knows except the people who are new. And then 2 units of Haranek. He also has a unit of Forest Bladesmen and a unit of Elder Palace Guard, who look so cool and are very deadly in combat. He also has over here, as we can see, he also has the unit of Elder King's Guard and Elder Pathfinders, who look super cool. And he also has some hiding units, I believe. So now, on to Arnor. So his first cav, he has 1 unit of bodyguards and a unit of Arnor Knights. He has some Knights of Numenos, and is that all for his cav? Yeah, I guess that's all. And so he has a catapult and a unit of Arnor Gate Guards, who are really cool, and they can deal a lot of damage, guarding the catapult against any cav or anything that tries to silence the catapult. So he has behind it a unit of Arnor Men-at-Arms, and guarding this flank over here, he has a unit of Arnor Pikemen. In the front lines, he has some Dunedain Wardens, probably 2 of them, 2 or a little more, in loose formation, so they don't take as many casualties from arrows or artillery. And behind them, we have a unit of Arnorian heavy archers, and we have some Dunedain Rangers, again pikemen on the flanks, and battle-ready Dunedain. And then in the way back, we have some Arthedain Men-at-Arms on both the flanks, and 2 Arnorian Peacekeepers in the center, and 1 dismounted Dunedain Knights in the back. So these, I think, they're just going to try to do maybe soften up some cav or soften up some of the soldiers before they get into combat, because they're not very good. So now moving on to Isengard, commanded by Jormain, and I forgot to say this is commanded by Volberio 0008. So now moving on to Isengard, in the front lines we have some crossbows, probably about 4 of those, 3 crossbows and a unit of Uruk-hai archers, and a unit of ballista who are accurate. Behind that, in an arrow formation, we have some Uruk-hai pikemen who are very good, and a Nazkai bodyguard, which I believe the general's in. I think that's the general. And he has some berserkers, which I haven't really seen in a little while. About 2 of them, I think, and some warg skirmishers. 3 units of warg skirmishers. Who, seriously, it looks so weird. Right when they get charged, they all drop. But they can do a pretty nice amount of damage with their javelins. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So then he has some Uruk-hai infantry and some Dunling veterans on this flank. They're mid-tier infantry. They're pretty good. They're not bad. And he also has some berserkers inside there. So now moving on to the last army, Orcs of the Misty Mountains. In the front lines, he has some Snaga archers to weaken the enemy and to absorb some ammo. He then has some heavy goblin infantry and a unit of orc bodyguards behind that. In the front lines, he has some black Uruks of the mountain, and to support them, some Black Watch Legion, who they don't really do too much damage, which they look like they would, but dang, they have, like, it takes forever to kill them. And then he has a unit of catapult, guarded by some mountain Uruk pikes. He also has a unit of Bolgs champions who are really good, and some snow trolls. Behind that, some heavy goblin crossbowmen, which is going to be very good against the heavy armor that the dwarves bring to this battle. And then 2 units of heavy goblin halberds to top off the army. And everyone, there might be some hiding units, so if I miss some units, forgive me for that. And let's just get into the battle. So Lothlorien is just going to be moving onto this hill, I believe. And let's pause this. Let's go over here real fast. We see a charge coming in by the Woodland Realms into the Nerniag infantry. They try to retreat, and we see the Variag cataphracts coming in to try to countercharge. And we see this unit is not going to get out in time, but they were caught, and sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. These are charging for the Elder Royal Guard, and they're trying to stop them, but they're just going to be too fast, and we see the nice charge coming in and doing a lot of damage. And then they try to pull out, but they do get a charge off on the Nerad wind blades. And to support, some Variag cataphracts are coming to try to charge while these guys are busy. And Woodland Realms bringing up his spearmen to try to stop the charge. But we do see they do get some Elder Royal Council in the charge, and they pull out again. And another charge, but with not enough momentum to do anything to the Royal Guard. And then we can see some Arnorian cav falling back, as Khand surprisingly has a unit of cav way over here. We see the Warwick skirmishers coming in, trying to get some javelins off, and they do. And then the Arnorian cav meets the Khandish cav. So we see Ironfoot Wargoats coming over, and so early in the battle, very surprising to me. There goes the Woodland Realms general, and let's go over there real fast. I was like, what? This early on? But we can also see, look at all the dead archers, and I'm pretty sure that happened somewhere around here. So it's gonna be pretty hard to like be able to see everywhere, because it's a pretty big battle. So dwarves are forming up on this little hill with Lothlorien, and we can see that the Galadriel mounted company either tried to, they did get a successful charge off, but are now under fire from the Snogga archers, and the snow trolls are coming in to support the Bolgs champions, but they're not going to be fast enough to catch the Galadriel mounted company, but the arrows are, and we see a nice chunk of mounted company falling. Well, we also see Isengard being side charged into their archers by the Galadriel mounted company, which they probably did not expect, as to why they are now sending infantry over. So a pretty nice charge, and they are going to pull out, but they are taking some pretty heavy losses as they do try to pull out. So we can see a little cav battle, and Khand took quite a few losses, surprisingly. Some merchants falling back with who are very depleted, and then we see the orc skirmishers moving up, as well as the mounted company trying to get a charge off, which they do manage to. And like I said, they just fell, like they just instantly fell. More Galadriel mounted company catching them off guard and getting a nice charge as well. So already they've taken quite a few losses, but we do see a good number of mounted company fallen as well. and archer fire also coming in and hitting the war skirmishers, and which they probably would want to pull out because they're not really getting anything done. So an interesting move, berserkers moving up, and luckily I don't think they get targeted, but if they did get targeted with arrows, they would either be destroyed or take lots of casualties, which would not be good because they can deal quite a bit of damage. So we can see just the warg skirmishers being shot down, and they should really get out of there. And then we can see berserkers pulling out and trying to get back to the safety of their lines. We can also see what looks like a push heading towards the dwarves. Arnor and Isengard meeting up, and just a depleted unit of cataphracts breaking. And the Woodland Realm was just was here. Their force was very elite, but really small. But sometimes even if your army's really elite, they were just overwhelmed, and they're retreating back to their allies. So Khan victorious here for now. They didn't manage to destroy the Woodland Realm army. They did manage to do a pretty nice amount of damage to their archers, which everyone knows the Woodland Realm has a very elite archer force, along with infantry and cavalry. So we see Uruk-hai crossbows coming up, and they wanted a piece of the Ironfoot crossbowmen, but as soon as they were under fire, they decided to fall back. So we see a push, what looks like a push, heading towards the dwarves. Their only unit is a unit of crossbows, and to try to silence them for now, I think they're going to try to charge them with the war skirmishers until their infantry can come up here. So the war skirmishers are going to take a few losses, but they are going to be able to eventually stop the Ironfoot crossbowmen from sending some very devastating volleys into the crossbows and Isengard's infantry. So again, we just see some warg skirmishers coming up here and trying to silence the crossbows. And we see dwarven cavalry coming up here, which if they did manage to get a charge off, could probably finish off the rest of the warg skirmishers. But of course, just like their infantry, the dwarven cavalry is very, very slow and can basically be caught by infantry that's running. So we do see a pretty nice charge coming into the berserkers, but they do need to pull out really fast, because we can just see all the casualties the Ironfoot wargoats are now sustaining from the berserkers. So we see the dwarves trying to reform their lines after a charge by the cav. Surprisingly, dwarves, when you charge when you charge cav into a dwarven shield wall, it does not end well for the cav. But this time, I think they might have just been reforming. We see a very nice charge coming in, and we can also see a charge coming into the pikemen who are trying to reform but did not get into their pike formation and just took a brutal charge. We can also see some cavalry who looks like they tried to get a charge off, but it just ended up not working out for them. So the dwarven pikemen just learned their lesson and are now trying to reform and get with their infantry again. We can see a charge coming into the half-orc vanguard, not really doing much since their own men were in the way. And they do want to pull out since there are pikemen behind them. So let's go over here. Still, we see a pretty scary force still on this hill, but not camping. They are slowly moving over to the battle. So we do see some cav and a ballista. So Orcs of the Misty Mountains sending their trolls. Sending their trolls and some of their cav over here. Some Nazkai. Some stakes. Battle ready Dunedain. And we can see the healthy force of Arnor and Woodland Realms meeting up, which is not going to be a very nice battle for Khand. And they will not be able to win it unless their allies can defeat the enemy over here and send support. So we can see some arrows coming down into the Hobbit. They were coming down to the Hobbit archers, but are now going for the elite Elder Royal Council. So we can see this force that looks really healthy and still has some pretty strong units, and then we can see the Khandish army taking lots of losses, but they still do have quite a few men. I'm sorry about that. We do see a nice catapult hit coming in and hitting the Narad footmen. And the archers are just being hit hard by catapult hits, as we can see the charred bodies of archers that were hit. You just see more hits, more and more hits, just not stopping, just coming in and burning these archers, these Nerniag archers. So we can see it looks as if the dwarves are pushing up, and we can see a unit of snow trolls coming up by themselves. It is a small unit of pikemen, but you should never send in trolls by themselves, especially when you're against dwarves. But not to worry. There goes the pikemen already in that one charge, swept away by the huge wave of Woodland Realm cav. So we can see the snow trolls already getting bloodied, especially the ones that were in the middle of the combat. Getting a pretty nice flanking charge into some Ironfoot pikemen and Ironfoot warriors, but they should really pull out before they start taking heavy casualties from the dwarves. So we do see a charge coming in, which ended up not being successful, and we can just see all the bodies of the cav who tried to charge, but this is why you don't charge into a dwarven shield wall with pikes behind them. So we just can see the body still really hot from a catapult hit that just hit. We can see coming over the hill the Elder Pathfinders coming in, trying to get a charge into the Nerniag infantry, and they do. And they are just slowly just weathering away all of Khand with just their cav. And we can see the artillery getting very close to a hit right in the middle of the cav. And a follow-up charge, which is a good idea by the Knights of Anumanas. They are already out of formation and weakened, and just about hitting them right over their heads, and they do need to watch out. But we do see some nice hits coming in. They do need to watch out though, because if they keep getting that close, it's not going to be very good, and they will get a hit eventually. So they do need to pull out. These hits are getting very close to them. Oh, and we can see taking two Knights of Anumanas, and then there we see the Woodland Realm General has fallen, and there we see the Khandish General has also fallen. So if we move over here, oh, and there goes our Arnorian General. So 3 generals already out in this short period of time. And if we go over here, we can see the dwarves and Lothlorians taking some ballista fire, which they do need to be careful about. And they are also returning to the Urkai archers, which is not a good idea. They are just wasting ammo since there's only 19 and they're in loose formation. So we can see Woodland Realm is now sending their troops over here. they do need to be careful. Their allies are right here. The only thing they need to be careful about, and there goes another general. Probably Isengard general or something. I'm pretty sure. One of the Isengard generals or the Orcs of the Misty Mountains. They do need to be careful that if they don't push up and just get surrounded, since they don't have enough troops to fight this whole line. But we can see some Sylvan heavy archers coming over here. And yes, we do see a fight. Sorry, we did see a fight, but it's gone now. So we see just some pikemen and some dwarves putting up a last stand. Over here, they're probably going to win. But over here, the Nazkai are in here, and it's not going to end very well for the Ironfoot warriors that are fighting. So there's just little battles going on everywhere. We can see the depleted Cav of Woodland Realms. And we can just see all the Condish troops in loose formation trying to limit the amount of damage done by going to loose formation, but still brutal hits keep coming in. You can see the Cav waiting for the right time. And we see a charge coming in and wiping out what was left of the dwarves. Over here, they will be able to win unless this Cav comes over here and they get surrounded. Isengard should probably send support just to surround them to ensure victory, because it's not looking very good anymore for them. And yes, then we see a Cav charge coming in. Not a very powerful Cav charge, but it's still a flanking charge by Knights of Numenor. So we can see some trolls charging. And some archers of the Woodland Realms tried to charge into the Lothlorien, but it did not end well, and we can see the trolls coming in unsupported, and they do need to pull out before they take too many casualties. So we do see they are victorious, and they now have no more support. So we see some heavy archers coming over here and trying to help and support what's left of these dwarves and trying to take out this unit of Uruk-hai infantry. But we do see some Arnorian troops coming over here to try to kill some of the Lothlorien. But we see Woodland Realms retreating back to the lines of Arnor. And we do see some hits coming in on the Mithril Guard. That is devastating. Even though it was only that amount, Mithril Guard are very good and they can do lots of damage. So it's good to take out as many as you can, since there is 2 units of Mithril Guard. So we see some Ironfoot crossbowmen coming in, probably to try to take some shots at the trolls or some of Isengard's men over there. And we do see some Sylvan Silver Spears as well. So I'll just speed this up. There's not really anything going on. We do see the Cav coming in and falling back. What are they doing? Are they falling back? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. So we still see Arnor just staring down Con waiting patiently for the right moment to strike. Arnor sending troops, to support what was left of Isengard, but it's too late. And now they are going to try to finish off some of these Sylvan Silver Spears. Over here we can see it did not go well for the Uruk-hai infantry, and they were cut down rather quickly. And Sylvan heavy archers not sustaining too many casualties. So we do see some Sentinels of the Woodland Realm coming over here, probably out of ammo, and taking a charge. So they are starting to just slowly kill the Knights of Numinos who have been in this battle and have been starting to lose their HP. We can see the Sylvan Silver Spears really taking really losing a decent chunk of their unit, only having 33 left. But we do see that the Sylvan Heavy Archers have won their battle and are now going to start to support their allies. I mean their own men. So we start to see Lothlorien just setting what they have to battle. But we still see the dwarves coming in, but they realize they're going to be surrounded and they might as well go over here and try to finish off what's left so they have a front line. But Bobo is leaving about 3 units. This might be all he has left of his most elite units that he brought to try to hold out against the horde of orcs, but it's not going to end well. As we can see, the whole army coming here, and even 3 of some of the strongest dwarven units can't beat a whole army by themselves. And they will eventually be surrounded due to their small amount of numbers. But we do see a really nice hit coming in onto the mountain Uruk pikes. Pikes falling back, probably waiting for some of their infantry to come up. So we can just see Lothlorien bringing up their men to try to support this fight, and it's looking really good for them. On this side, not as good, but they just need to bring in some support, and I think the tide over there can change. So we do see Khan was moving in, surrounded. It's not over here. They're doing okay, and they just need to get a surround off. They did save their ammo, which is just really one of the keys to win a battle. So we do see some Nurad assassins coming behind the lines and trying to get a flanking charge off into the pikemen, who are now coming up and facing the Nurad footmen. We see a nice charge coming. And yes, it does a lot of damage. Takes out the back line of the pikes. Then another general is down. I believe that was Bobo's general. And then we see the Elder Palace Guard coming in. Sylvan Silver Spears trying to slow them down for as long as they can. And we can see over here, Arnor has sent some support, and it's not looking as good as it was looking. You can also see just a little tiny force of the allies trying to hold against all this Arnorian forces, all these Arnorian forces, and just a big clump of Lothlorien here, trying to fight off Arnor. And we can see that the fight is now turning into the favor of the allies, since the dwarves have sent support, since Lothlorien was starting to lose its foothold that it had. As we can see, some Ironfoot Hammer Guard, which contains the general. He looks super cool. We can see a fight between half of the orcs of the Misty Mountains army, and we do see some crossbow fires, some supporting crossbow fire, and Snaga archers firing into the dwarves, because the orcs of the Misty Mountain are going to need as much support as they can get, since they are against some of the most elite forces that the dwarves have. So over here, it's just not looking very good. We see the Mithril Guard are surrounded, and so are the Dragon Slayers. And over here, the Sons of the Fallen are just not looking good at all. And we can see some Orc bodyguards coming up here, which should be the end of the Sons of the Fallen. And the Dragon Slayers, they just cannot reach the Mountain Uruk pikes. They're just slowly killing the Dragon Slayers, and the Dragon Slayers just cannot reach past that really long pike that they possess. So we can see a Mithril Guard trying to pull out of that surround, but there's just even more troops and trying to go for the heavy Goblin Clustermen. And a good idea from the Orcs of Misty Mountain, using their numbers against the dwarves. The dwarves just do not have enough forces to hold against all these troops here. But over here it's a different story, and they do have enough forces. And we can slowly just see, if we hover over this Blackwatch Legion, that we can just see how fast they're losing their numbers. And then we see the Dragon Slayers lose their general, as well as the whole Dwarven army. Now we can just see it's not going very well for them at all, surrounded by halberds and pikes. Though we can see lots of dead orcs with really funny textured shoes, or feet or whatever. Jeez, that looks so weird. And we can just see they are victorious over here. And there goes the Dwarven general for both the Dwarven armies. We can see right now 73% of Lothlorien and Dwarves and Khand has been destroyed. 78% of the other team has been destroyed. So we do see over here that they are victorious. Khand is sending in some troops to finish off with whatever's left. And surprisingly, Khand is victorious as well. So they really turned around this battle, which looked like it was the other forces were easily going to win this. But Khand did a very good job, waited patiently. He knew he was going to take a lot of losses, and he did, but he eventually just won. So we can just see the last of any resistance being finished off. And over here, Snaga archers. And really, the dwarves are going to be victorious, because I cannot see the orcs winning against all these elite dwarven forces. We can just see that they're basically victorious already. The Blackwatch Legion are holding up pretty well, but they will start falling very shortly after the dwarves come in for a surround, since they have one in the middle and are about to win on the flank over here. Only resistance and the thing keeping them back is the two units of Blackwatch Legion, but this Blackwatch Legion is just about gone. So we do see some crossbows who have a pretty nice sight of fire into the dwarves. Now we can see that the orcs are victorious over here and have finished all of the dwarven resistance, except a few guys. Nope, they've won and are just cheering. But we can see they are not going to be cheering for much longer, because they will be dead, because I don't see them winning this, but who knows. The dwarves still have some really elite units. Khand still looking pretty good. Lothlorien and the other dwarven army is out, but I think I just don't see Gundabad. Gundabad. I don't see Misty Mountains being able to turn this around. So we can see the Blackwatch Legion now starting to fall very quickly. And they should probably move up their men here and surround them. So we do see the Dwarven crossbowmen, who still do have ammo, which was a good idea to save it, are now going to start taking shots at the heavy goblin crossbowmen, and taking them out will be very very helpful. We can see some Snaga going invisible here, and we can see some of their blood splattering when they get shot. So it's over for this little fight right here, and it's up to this small amount to turn the battle around. So I will make a cut if they don't engage yet, and I will be back when they do. But let's see. So I really want to thank you guys for 28 subscribers, even though it's not a very big milestone, but it's almost to 30 subscribers, so almost at our first goal. Our next will probably be 60. No, 70. Let's try to get to 70. So we can see the dwarves just trying to be able to engage on all sides. And right here, this is the really weak part, and it needs to be reinforced because the dwarves can easily smash through this little line of pikemen. So I think we might have a battle. Slow it down to 2 speed. So we can see they do, the blackback mounted berserkers trying to take out these ironfoot crossbowmen. Will they get it in time? And we do see some really nice volleys coming in to the front of the Uruk pikes. So we do see Khan coming in to support the crossbows and trying to surround the blackback mounted berserkers. Since they are a pretty elite unit, that will be a nice unit to get off the field. So we now can see that the dwarves are starting to charge. And when they do charge, or the orcs of the Misty Mountains should be pretty scared. Now it's not real. It's okay that they're doing this. If they still had like 2 whole armies in a new box, that would just be kind of boring. But right now, I mean, it's gonna be pretty fun because we're just gonna see a box being surrounded, and they don't really have enough men to form a whole box. So over here, the pikes are basically just gonna be punched through. Since they did not have a sufficient amount of numbers to go against the dwarves, they're just going to be pushed right through. And we can also see that they don't have enough men to fully cover it anymore. And we can see if it's probably a very good time for the dwarves to start pushing up, and yes, they are. Khan coming up. Orc bodyguards holding the line over here, and some halberds moving up. You can see what's left of the Mithril Guard trying to engage, and now trying to go for the backs of the heavy goblin halberds, who are pushing out, which is probably not the best idea. And Sylvan Axemen probably trying to go first around or attack the flanks of these goblin halberds. You can see over here that the blackbacks are gonna be victorious, and let's see if they can turn it around. So now goblin halberds under fire, and we can see the pikemen breaking as well as this unit of 80 halberds. So basically the line is broken here. They just need to flank around and yes, we're gonna see, I'm almost certain we're gonna see a victory for the elves, dwarves, and the Khand. since the only thing that is really left is the orc bodyguards and a few halberds and blackback mountain berserkers. So the blackbacks are victorious, but I don't know if they're going to be able to take on Sindar archers and all the dwarves that are coming on. They definitely are not going to be able to do that. So we can see the battle's basically over. We're just waiting for the orc bodyguards and the blackbacks to be just finished off. And we do see that they're going in for a surround on the orc bodyguards. Because they are wearing down what's left of the dwarves that charged in head first without support. So they do need to charge here, because if they manage to break through, they're going to be able to do more damage than they want them to. So we just see the blackbacks being surrounded and just being cut down super fast. And let's just go on 1 speed. We do see some Sindar archers coming in with an armor upgrade who looks super cool. And we do see the orc bodyguards being surrounded. But they might be able to break out of it if they defeat the front line. We do see the elven general, who is one of the few generals who actually might be the only general alive on the battlefield. So it is nice that he was able to conserve his general. We can see his general. He looks pretty bloody. But he did get a nice kill on that orc bodyguard. Well, he was an orc bodyguard, but now he's just gonna be birds or rat food for now. So we can see the orc bodyguards still having about 120. But once all the troops finish up and they have a full surround, they're gonna be gone pretty fast. So we do see some breaking. Snaga, who probably right when they get into combat are gonna break, but we'll see. Wavering, breaking. So they're basically only good for like supporting and soaking up fire and used for their quantity of arrows. They don't really have any quality of their arrows. They just rely upon their quantity of the arrows. Now we can see the orc bodyguards are about at 100 now. And still against all these elites, they're not like already destroyed, but they are bodyguards. So we'll see what's gonna happen here. And everyone has basically finished and are now just going for the bodyguards. And I'll just let you guys watch that. So we do see, let's see. So we see an orc bodyguard killing a Sylvan Axeman. And we do see that slowly the bodyguards are just being destroyed, and we see them breaking at 70, which I expected them just to keep fighting, but they are breaking. So that was probably basically the end of the battle. So now we'll just go and skip to the results once that finishes, and I'll be right back. I'll just cut this real fast. No, I'll leave it. So we can see what I'll take this time to show you what they have left. So they have some Variag warriors and some Nurniag infantry, some Nurad footmen, some Khazad-dûm reclaimers, airborne infantry, Hammer Segundabad, and we can see what they had. So the most men deployed was by Orcs of the Misty Mountains. And the most kills out of all the teams was 749 by Baconfish. So he did a very nice job, and all the players did. Wait, why would I say 700? Sorry guys, I was looking at the men remaining. I meant the most kills was by Lothlorien, but still everyone did a good job, especially Lothlorien. I thought he was gonna get like this third amount of kills, and then we can see the least amount of kills going to Wooden Realms, because they just had an elite core. It's always good to bring an army that has numbers, because you can just easily get surrounded. So we can see that his units did a very good job. Cinder Archers getting 340 kills, and I think that's the most. Second most going to the Sylvan Heavy Spearmen, getting 207. No, that's Sylvan Axemen, sorry. Sylvan Axemen, we can see that both units did a very nice job. And if he brought probably more units of the Sylvan Axemen, he probably could have gotten even more kills. But still, it's their decision. So I thank you to all the players, as you can see their names here. So if you played this and you're watching, thank you. And guys, like I said, send in more replays, please. I really need replays. Send it in at modslayerlovesmc@gmail.com. Like send them if they're like super far apart. Like those battles, they're not really that fun. But like if it's pretty close and there's like not like two whole armies still remaining, send it in. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and see you guys next time.